Alright, today we are going to look at how to create a logo, specifically a logo that is built around the 20th century Fox logo. Um, so any of these, it's pretty much a pretty popular logo. You can put any types of words that you want on there. I'm going to do something a little bit more difficult with different letters, sizes, and show you how to go ahead and make a simple version of this. It's a little bit more advanced. Feel free to not pay attention to this tutorial, but it will cover some basics that you may not have experienced yet, as well as not cover in this class entirely. So first thing we're going to do, first thing I'm going to do is create my my platform. This is going to be my basis, and let's just pick one of these for now. This one looks pretty good. Now, if you were able to find a straight-on picture, you can bring this into Max, which you will go over and basically trace it. But we're going to just do it by hand. So we got a platform here, nothing special. Just go 40 by 60 by 20. That's fine. And let's get some segments. Good. Okay, so we've got ourselves a platform. Okay. And next thing we're going to do is name this platform and bring in text. Bring a text in my front viewport here. As you see, the text is overwhelming to the platform. Doesn't matter. One trick, if you guys want to pay attention, is this box is not really centered on this grid, although it seems like it's pretty close to center. Whenever you're modeling with certain objects, you want to just have it centered on this grid particular, and you want to keep it small. You click on your object, you go to select and move, and at the bottom here it gives you the coordinates of your box's pivot point, which is at the bottom, and where it's at in relation to the grid. So it's 0.3 off of the grid, 1, and if you wanted to zero that out, you just right click on those, and now our box is perfectly centered on this grid. Although it is on top of the grid as the z coordinate is 0, pivot point is on the bottom. If we wanted it halfway in the grid, which you wouldn't, you'd have to take half the height, so it'd be 20. So you'd have to go negative 10, and now you're cutting in half, but you wouldn't do that. You keep it 0. Okay, so we go back to our text here, and we're going to do what I usually work with, Myris made. So we're going to do 2 words there. We will underline them just like our 20th century is underlined. And actually 20th is on its own platform. Platforms are fairly simple. You can add as many boxes as you want. So 20th Myris made, it's on the underlined. Now it's very big, it's bigger than we want, so we're going to decrease the size quite a bit. Width size is what we're looking for, and about the same width as the box, 27, so we're going to go about 20, 27 is fine, I'm going to leave that. We're going to put it on top of the box here, okay, and go to our perspective view, and okay, so we've got it pretty generic. Now if you want to make this very simple, you can just extrude this. Oh, not face extrude. Face extrude, yeah. Just extrude, and then just go ahead and extrude it out. First thing we're going to do is move it to the back of our box, and now we can extrude it. Box is 40, I think, so we'll go a little shorter than that. 35. So, I mean, short, this is it right here. You could put decoration in the box, make it look a little fancier, but that's pretty much all it is. That probably looks a little better. But now we're going to take this a step further. Let's go back to our smaller size. Once this is created, what we can do is break this object up by going to Edit Mesh, and now we can select individual elements or letters, or even the dot over the eyes will be its own element. What we can do with this is mimic this 20th as big, th is small, or having all letters the same size. You can do that capitalized, or you can find text that does that, or you can do as we're going to do here, actually modify these letters to our needs. Now you got to make sure you are selecting just the z-axis, otherwise you're going to have a problem with the letter being bigger than everything else. Okay. Go back to text here. Usually you don't want to go back into it. We're going to create a whole nother set here. We'll go 20th, just so I can show you what we're doing here. Letters aren't, there's no point in doing that. So 20th. Okay, we'll go back to our edit mesh. Let's move this entire out of element mode. Move this entire thing up. This is much too tall for what we want. So first thing we're going to look at is that the 20th is not going with the rest of the words because it is a little, it's less characters. So we can scale it. What it's going to do is it's going to scale all the letters and make them all thicker. It's not quite exactly what we want. This one is probably the easiest one to make bigger, but there's no need to if we can simply select another the same size, copy it up. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is delete the one under 20th, and this way I get the exact same size. I take one of the other underlines, copy it up higher. There we go. Create a new element, it's fine. We're going to take the T and the H, we're going to move them out of the way. They're going to be a little lower. The 20th isn't as important, so we can shrink this. Shrink this T and H, and we're just going to move them out of the way again. 2 and the 0 are important, so we're going to make these nice and large. Now this one I use the height and the width, not the depth. We don't want this to go any bigger than our object, so we are going to use the 2-axis modifier, and we can do this together. Now they're going to overlaying, that's fine, we're getting the height here, and then we can go ahead and move them how we want. Okay. So now we've got small th, big t, 2 and 0. Shrink the whole thing. Now we've got something a little bit more like the Fox logo. Okay. This is kind of mimicking sitting on top here, so we're going to move it down a little bit. So that's how you do the font. You can play around individually with these elements by going into selection element mode and moving them however you want, and modifying them however you want. If you wanted just the end letters to be bigger and holding up this pedestal, that's fine. If you wanted these touching, that's fine. However you wanted to do it. Basically, it's yours. You create it how you want. Okay. The next thing we're going to do, so that's about it for lettering. You can, make a joke and have one of these kind of going sideways a little bit, ready to fall off. You can have this S ready to fall off. That's, there you go. That looks pretty good. So I'm happy with that. And since I'm putting time into this, I'll just make this a little bit nicer. I'm just going to grab my mesh smooth sheet. That's I don't like that at all, but that's fine for now. Yeah, I'm not going to mess with it. Okay, we're going to move on to the lighting. And if you look, you can see these lights are shining up in the air. What that's called is volume lighting, VOLUME, volume lighting. And what you do is you go ahead and create a light source, not a photometric one, but a standard one, and you go target direct. Now, target spot, target direct can work. We're going to go target spot maybe. No, not target spot, target direct, yes. Target direct, we're going to start and down a little bit in front of our object. You can go in the top view here, start in this bottom object, and just drag it in any direction. Okay. The important part is where it's starting. Then you're going to want to put this up in the air and angle it. Now you're going to put a few of these in, so feel free to experiment how these lights work. So when you click on the light sources here, which is this entire circle, teach you about the directional lighting. So direct light, this entire circle is where it starts. The light goes into this cone and it ends at the end of the circle. If I rendered this right now, I probably won't get looks like. Where's my rendering button's not working? Oh, it's because I paused this with F9. I hope I meant. Haha. I'm going to review this whole video now. Alright, we're going to render. These are much too big. Much too big. And that ambient lighting is actually washing this out. So we're going to turn off that ambient only. So you don't know how stuff looks until you're done. But this is much too thick. Fallout, we're going to go 8. We're going to do that for all of them. And again, you can change this however you want and make it unique. You want something thick and fat and the whole thing is going through. Keep pausing it. Alright, render. Let's see what it looks like here. It's much better, much better. A little dim. We can make this light brighter. And we're gonna. Make it up a little bit. There we go. Zoom in a little bit. We're going to get a good view here. I'm going to all the starting points of these lights. I'm going to bring it down because I want them going right through, so I don't see the starting point. There we go. So I'm pretty happy with that. You go ahead and make a ground, make some details around the ground if you wanted to perfectly make up this Romanesque type setting. I think I'm going to give this Omni Light shadow though. Let's see how this looks now. Yeah, that's better. Right? You see we got shadows in here now, so this looks like these lights are actually making a difference. That looks a lot better. Alright, I got just enough time. What we're going to do is go to rendering, environment. We're going to change the color of the background. I don't know. I want to do that yet. I don't have a, we'll just go gradient. We're going to go gradient. And you don't have to do this. This is even bonus. I'll do it the cheap way. We're not going to use the map. We're just going to change the color to a lighter. Re-render. And we've got it's too light. There we go. You want those lights to show. That's a little better. Well, the idea is to get a different color background instead of the black. And you can see the volume lighting. You can see how to change individual sizes of the words. Yeah, so just a quick little tutorial on how to play around with it.